There you go! Maraming salamat. So good evening everyone and welcome back to Miss Earth Crown. We're so happy that you're here with us. Thank you for being patient in waiting for our show for tonight. My name is Noy Sabellan. I am the chief correspondent of Miss Earth Crown. And with me tonight is my co-host from Japan. Ayan, nasa Japan po siya ngayon. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Emmanuel Feliciano.
Hello po, lady. Hello.
Parang kumu lang.
Oo. Although hindi siya kumagat sa Kumu, ayaw niya mag-broadcast sa Kumu, but that's okay. Hello po, good evening everyone. Ako po si Eman Feliciano, ang Creative Content Head. Pasensya na po at medyo natagalan tayo ng pag-start kasi we had some technical problems. Hashtag sana magka-internet na ako. Yeah, but we are here because it's a very special night and we are going
to indeed.
Two, again, dalawang very powerful candidates ng Miss Philippines.
Yes, they are. And since powerful sila, Eman, I think it's now time for us to introduce one by one our two special guests for tonight. Now, starting off with our candidate from Mandaluyong City. Let's all welcome Roni Meneses. Hi, Roni!
Hello.
Kamusta ka naman, Roni? Hello. Say hi to our fans naman.
Ano po? Sorry.
Say hi to our fans naman. Say hi.
Hi po sa lahat na nanonood. Magandang gabi.
Magandang gabi sa ating lahat. My God, alam mo, we're only 3 minutes into our broadcast. Ang dami nang nanonood. My goodness.
Ay, grabe, nag-aabang sila. Sorry naman po.
And now, since hindi lang not just one, but two candidates for tonight, let's all welcome naman from Atimonan, ang Atimonan. Let's all welcome Almeera Almamari. Almeera. Wow naman. Say hi to our fans, Almeera.
Hi to everyone watching Miss Earth Crown tonight. I hope you keep sharing this live.
Ayan.
Oo po. Please share this live.
And speaking of our fans, allow me to just, maybe show some of our fan comments right now. Starting off with this fan comment from, ayan, maraming fans si Almeera, marami ring fans na nagsusupport kay Roni tonight. Maraming salamat po. Ayan, we have Atimonan Quezon. Hashtag Almeera ang Corona. May hashtag ka agad ha, in fairness to Almeera.
Grabe.
Oo. And of course, siguro I'm going to show some of the comments later on. Pero first, I'd like to say big thank you to our forever love, si Tito Rogil Flores for making this interview possible. Ayan, maraming salamat. So what's going to happen tonight, Eman, is I think we're going to have like a one-on-one first with our delegates for tonight. I think we're going to start off with Miss Mandaluyong. So sa ating mga fans ni Miss Mandaluyong City, Roni Meneses, now is the time for you to sound off in the comments because we are going to have our one-on-one with Roni right now. So right now, Almeera, maybe you can turn off the camera for now because we'll have your turn in a little bit. For now, let's have our segment with Miss Mandaluyong City.
Yes.
Roni
Meneses. Bago pala yan, bago din ako mag-off ng camera. Gusto ko lang sabihin na we are now simulcast also on Kumu. Yes.
Wow!
So we are also on Kumu. So if you are following Kumu, you can also watch on Kumu. Diyan po sa mga nasa Kumu, hello Rise, Raja, hello user Janice, Rose Pineda, Nikki Mateo. You can also ask questions kung gusto niyo po magtanong sa ating mga Miss Philippines Earth candidates. Ayan. I'll be back.
Actually, yes,
Nonoy.
Actually, Roni and Almeera, we are simulcast on three channels. On our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, and on Kumu. Sangka pa? Tatlong pages. Ibang Miss Earth Crown. Kasi iba rin naman kasi ating mga contestants for tonight. So, Roni, thank you. Maraming salamat for being here with us tonight. As I mentioned a while ago during our backstage talk, si Roni po ay nakilala ko first time during her, I think, the auditions of Miss Philippines Earth. I asked you some questions there. Roni, I'd like to ask now, kamusta naman? How is the feeling that you are now an official candidate to Miss Philippines Earth 2021?
I feel so grateful na kasi even before hindi ko inimagine na mapapasali ako sa Miss Philippines Earth. And now that I'm here and I am one of the ilan na ba kami? 66 ba kami? 66 na lang yata
The
kami.
biggest number.
Grabe, it's such an honor and I just feel so proud and happy.
Correct. And speaking of being proud and happy, I'd like to talk about a little bit of Roni before Miss Philippines Earth 2021. What is Roni like before venturing into Miss Philippines Earth this year? What was life like for you, Roni Meneses?
Well, before Miss Philippines, sorry, medyo kinakabahan yata ako. Before Miss Philippines Earth, so yun nga, ako kasi yung reigning Miss Mandaluyong. And after winning Miss Mandaluyong, dun biglang nagkaroon ng quarantine, lockdown, tapos lumala yung pandemic. So I was stuck at home and super sad, but then I just tried to make the most out of my time at home. So talagang nag-aral ako online and then I started baking.
Wow.
Tapos I also did programs din na nag-donate ako ng food sa different families in Mandaluyong and then work out every day. Ganyan. Pag free time, tamang nood ng Netflix, kain, spend time with family. Yun, ganun lang.
So basically, like how we are, I think almost how everyone is during quarantine. It's basically your life before, no, during the lockdown and everything else. Pero si Roni Meneses, as an individual, what was your work like? Did you have any job before? Ano yung life mo before this entire pandemic happened? What was your life like?
I only graduated during the pandemic.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. Fresh graduation
lang.
From
Yeah,
what
kaya
school?
UP Diliman po.
Mga iska. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, so yung course ko po ay clothing technology. So I am a fashion designer as well. And before I graduated, nag-open ako ng online clothing line ko. So RM Couture. Tapos yun, naging busy din po ako. Gumagawa ako ng gown. Yun lang. Wala masyadong ganap yung life ko pala.
Pero, so you're basically a fashion designer. You're into fashion. You're into the creative work. My question is, since yung line of work or your line of industry is like fashion design, what made you decide to join Miss Philippines Earth? I mean, was there any like great connection between what you're doing as a fashion designer and the thrust and the mission of Miss Philippines Earth? Ano ba yung connection, so to say?
Well, to connect it to my course and my profession na clothing designer, siguro gusto ko din talaga educate yung mga tao regarding sustainability when it comes to clothing. So I also want to promote the slow fashion movement because right now, a big chunk of our pollution comes from the fashion industry. So as much as possible, gusto kong i-educate yung mga tao na maging smart consumer na yun, we buy what we need para maiwasan din natin pollution.
Oh, yes, and since you mentioned yung slow fashion, because I am also very familiar because shoutout pala sa aking mga fellow mga DCP, Designer Circle Philippines, si Sir Edwin Uy. I'm not too sure if you know Sir Edwin Uy. He's a good friend of mine.
Wow,
Sir Edwin Uy, yes, if you are watching.
Edwin!
Mga fashion designers kasi yung mga friends ko, and meron din sila, of course, they're very familiar with the struggle between fast fashion and slow fashion. Maybe you can educate now since you have the platform now. Ano ba yung problem with fast fashion nowadays para alam ng ating mga earthlings?
Okay, well, I won't say brands na ng fast fashion, pero sila yung usually nakikita natin sa malls. And the problem is, almost every week, they change their line. So imagine the surplus ng damit na pinoproduce nila. It's more than what the customers are asking for. So ang ending, pag nagpalit sila ng line, yung previous line, tinatapon na lang nila, dinidisregard na lang nila. So sobrang natatambakan tayo ng mga damit. And yun yung nagiging problem sa fast fashion because they change their line too quickly and consumers can't really keep up naman sa ganung klaseng pace. Kaya
so
nakaka-imbalance.
Yeah, basically like capitalism and consumerism yung nagiging problem natin dito with fast fashion. Well, I'm not too sure if that is really connected to your main advocacy as a candidate to Miss Philippines Earth. Now I'm going to give you an opportunity. It's not really, right? So, but then let's now talk about, na-interest lang ako because you're a fashion designer and of course fast fashion and slow fashion, very important yun. Now I'm gonna give you an opportunity to talk about ano ba talaga yung gusto mong ipaglaban as a candidate. And if ever you win, this is a very big platform. If ever you win, we've seen it with our current queens right now, like Roxy Bayens, has been doing so well with her advocacy. If ever you become like the queen for 2021, ano ba yung gusto mong ipaglaban as Miss Philippines Earth 2021?
So my main advocacy po talaga kasi is environmental vegetarianism. So I have been a vegetarian for almost 2 years. Kaya ito yung naisip kong gawing main advocacy ko because I really want to encourage everyone to switch to a plant-based diet. Because right now, given may climate change pa rin, 25% of that problem is attributed to livestock production. So from the raising of animals sa paggamit ng mga open areas to produce more animals and animal-related products, talagang napakalaki ng nagiging contribution niya to pollution. And so I really want to stop that. And, when everyone starts eating or moving towards a plant-based diet, syempre mas makakatulong yun sa kalikasan because we can always plant our food.
Correct.
Yun yung main advocacy ko.
Yes. Before I give you my follow-up question, my goodness, we are close to 100 viewers.
Wow!
Maraming salamat sa ating
Hi guys,
super late
thank
na
you for
tayo.
watching.
I think it's because of our two beautiful guests, no? We're close to 100 viewers. Now, let me ask another question regarding that, Ronnie, kasi very important, no? Na since marami tayong viewers, it's now the perfect opportunity for you to really talk about this. Ano ba yung plant-based diet? Pagkain ba yan ng mga gulay lang? Ano ba? What exactly is a plant-based diet para alam ng ating mga 96 viewers right now?
Okay, so para sa ating viewers, plant-based diet, basically, you're gonna eat plants, vegetables, and fruits. Bawal meat. Not naman super strict na bawal, but then, you as much as possible, you try to avoid meat and byproducts ng meat. So like dairy, cheese, and yun. So you really focus on eating plants, so vegetables and fruits. Yun lang naman.
Yeah. Pero in terms of like being personally involved in being promoting plant-based diet, ikaw personally, ano ba yung mga actions na ginagawa mo moving towards a plant-based diet? Ikaw, for example, every day or like your daily thing with doing plant-based diet, ano ba yung ginagawa mo para kami ma-educate?
So, yun nga po, bale almost 2 years na po akong vegetarian. So, almost 2 years na ako hindi kumakain ng karne. And seafood, chicken, pork, beef, lahat yun, hindi ko pa siya nakakain. Almost 2 years na.
Wow.
And basically, you just live a normal life except you exclude meat in your food. And that's very easy. A lot of people kasi nagsasabi na, ay, magastos maging vegetarian or ang hirap na puro gulay mo. But then if you think about it, if para sa'yo magastos siya, isipin mo na lang yung benefits niya in the long run. It's gonna be super worth it, not only for your body, but also for the environment.
Yeah.
It's gonna be for a greater cause. So bakit hindi mo na lang isugal? Like in the meantime, kung medyo nahihirapan ka, tiisin mo na lang because, in the end, you're gonna benefit from it naman.
Correct. And Ronnie, I'd like to ask this question. Why do you think there is a misconception about being a vegetarian and going plant-based? It's just only for those who have budget. Why do you think there is a misconception that it's only for the affluent or only for what's up with that? Or what is your take on that?
Actually, even before I started, parang ganun din yung thinking ko na, ay, ang hirap naman i-maintain. Parang social, maging vegetarian or vegan.
Correct.
I feel like it started a long time ago because of how people portrayed it sa media.
Yeah.
Feeling just, kulang lang talaga sa pagiging informed ng mga tao. And so, we just really have to read and learn about vegetarian and being a vegan para mas maintindihan natin na kaya naman talaga siyang gawin. It's really possible.
Yeah, so again, it's really possible. And that is what Ronnie Meneses is going to push forward as an advocacy, as a candidate to Miss Philippines Earth 2021. You know what, Ronnie? I'm going to ask more questions in a little bit, pero I need to already bring in our second guest. But before I
Sure.
do that, say hi ka muna sa ating mga fans. My goodness, meron tayong mga fans dito. Si
Hi!
yan, si mga from Atimonan. But then kanina, ang dami mong fans from
Yeah.
saying hi to Ronnie Menes. Actually, itong fan na to from, I think you have seen this one. Sila, is it, ayan, sila Deo, Omania. That's also for Amira. But then there are a lot of fans. Maybe you can say hi to your fans for now, Ronnie,
Yeah.
before we
Sa
bring
lahat
in
po
our
na
next guest.
nanonood, hello, kahit sa supporters ni Amira, hi. Thank you for watching and supporting us. Lahat ng candidates ng Miss Philippines Earth. Yeah, nood lang kayo guys. Masaya po.
Yeah. Yes, because
Yun.
it's not only si Ronnie, because we're gonna bring in our next guest, Ronnie. We're gonna see you in a little bit. Thank you.
Okay.
Maraming salamat.
Thank
Yun.
you.
Before you bring Ronnie in, gusto ko ring batiin ang ating mga nanonood from Kumu. Yan, hello
Yeah.
to Vladimir, Alejandro, right? Rajel, who's watching on Kumu, is actually a supporter of Miss Atimonan, sabi ni Rajel. Hi, Miss Atimonan.
Kaya naman
Yes,
pala.
andito rin si Sally. Hello, Sally. Hi,
Ayan na si
Sally.
Miss
Thank you for
Atimonan.
being here.
Yes, hi.
Hello.
Eman, I think you're willing to do this interview with Miss Atimonan because right now we are close to 199 viewers na tayo,
Grabe!
guys.
Sobra.
Kahit gabing-gabi na
Wow.
tayo, we're so happy.
Oo.
Maraming salamat.
Parang actually ito yata yung gising nila eh. No?
102, counting 102
Wow.
viewers. Now that Miss
Yes, thank you so
Atimonan
much.
is already in. So Eman, I'm gonna bring you. I'm
Grabe.
gonna bring give you the floor. And Miss Atimonan, enjoy the one-on-one. Amira, I'll see you in a bit.
See you.
Okay, sige. Hello.
Hi, good
Amira.
evening, sir.
Oo, ano mo, ang gusto ko lang, na-notice ko lang that you have a very interesting spelling of your name, yung Amira mo, double
Yes.
E. So,
Mhm.
please tell us, how do we correctly pronounce your name? Amira, right?
Yes, you're actually pronouncing it correctly. It's pronounced Amira.
Okay, there you go, Amira. Napakaganda ni Amira. First of all, gusto lang po naming i-shout out simula pa nung umpisa. Actually, last year, no? Napakalakas talaga ng fan base ng Atimonan. Talagang Team Monan dahil it's really a team effort. Everyone, lahat ng parte ng team ay talagang nagbibigay ng effort for their candidates. How do you feel that you are following in on the footsteps of our Miss Earthfire na si Shane Tormes?
I actually feel really honored, not only because I'm following in such big footsteps, but because I know I'm following a legacy. Because as I've mentioned before, she really fought for the mountains and ecotourism and has something else to offer to bring to the table, and it's the marine biodiversity. And even more than that, I have my team Atimonan with me, and it really takes not just a village, but a whole city, a whole town to bring up a beauty queen in this type of competition.
That is true. Totoo nga naman yan. We already know how powerful a team Monan is.
Yes.
Ngayon, though it is a great advantage that you are following in on the footsteps of Shane Tormes, what do you think can you bring to the table on your own as Miss Atimonan? It's like, I'm going to be following Shane's example, but I'm going to create my own path. Ano yung path that you want to create this year on your journey for Miss Philippines? That you want to create this year?
Well, first and foremost, I am my own person. I am Amira Almamari for Atimonan.
Want to create
And
this
something
year
I'm
on your
fighting
journey?
for is the marine biodiversity of Atimonan and Quezon. And, I'm focusing more on the people, actually, not just the environment. And I do believe that my advocacy is really holistic, and I'm ready to get my hands dirty. I'm ready to interact with the people. And I have already done that, actually. I have talked to a lot of fishermen, a lot of the children. And, it's heartbreaking, some of the stories that I've heard here. And so that's what I'm bringing as well with me. I'm not just bringing my own story, but the stories of the Atimonanans, of our fishermen. And so that's the difference I have with our previous Miss Philippines Earthfire.
That's so great. Yan. Grabe ang dami nating mga hashtags na lumilipad na rito. We have Amira ang Corona, makabagong Atimonan, di ba? And go Auntie Amia, sabi ni Shane Relucio. Napag-usapan natin yung the plight of the fishermen. Specifically, Amira, what problems of our fishermen are you trying to solve or to help give a solution to?
Yes. So since my talk with the fishermen here, I have asked them how long they have been fishing and how has the marine biodiversity depleted and how has it affected their livelihood. And so they said that there really is a big competition right now with getting fish from the sea, and they have to reach a quota. They have to make their
Oh,
livelihood. Yes, and so that's one of the problems I'm trying to solve. That's why I want to make our marine biodiversity more abundant, hopefully, than before, and give these fishermen an alternative job so we can also give the time for the fishes to breathe. And so I really just want to help not just the environment but them as well, because their stories are really such great stories to hear, and they're very inspiring.
that's right. Thank you very much. That's a very good point that you made. But also, I want to ask you a question. Um, as, despite the fact that our fishermen need some help in order for them to have a good living, to make a
Yes.
good living, sometimes we also there also needs to be education on overfishing. What is your
Yeah.
take on overfishing and why do you think this happens, Amira? Kasi parang nagiging problema natin din yan ngayon, eh, no? Oh, what is your take on overfishing and how do you think it can be solved?
Okay, so actually, I am against overfishing, of course, because this does not just affect the ocean and, which is our biggest carbon sink, actually, and the fishes that live there. But as you mentioned, it also affects their livelihood. And here in Atimonan, actually, there has been ordinances against overfishing. And I have met the chairperson of one of the organizations of fishermen here, and they themselves also took the initiative to call out the fishermen who have been overfishing. And thankfully, in 2015, that was the last incident of severe commercial overfishing, and that was not only because of our visionary mayor, but also because of the initiatives of the fisher folk themselves. So I do believe that they are really educated on what they do, and in terms of overfishing and all the things regarding the ocean, we can actually go to them because they know that more, and that has been their livelihood since some of them were 14, actually.
Wow. That's
Mhm.
amazing to know that even before this year, the path, the journey to stop overfishing has been going on in Atimonan,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Now, my question is, you are aiming to become Miss Philippines Earth, no? When you become Miss Philippines Earth, how will you bring this advocacy um, to the whole Philippines? How will you educate people on overfishing? What platforms will you use and how are you going to go about it?
Yeah, so the Miss Philippines Earth platform is actually a big enough platform, and I think one of the steps I can take is to actually communicate with our local government units because they have the most power. And education and influence is not a problem. The problem is the platform you have in order to
Mm.
utilize it. And so I do think that one of the best platforms is to talk to the local LGU. To the LGU on what they can do, on how we can bring about this project and raise funds. And also, aside from that, we need to connect with the people as well. And so I do want to immerse myself with the coastal families as well, with the fisher folk living in different provinces of the Philippines, hopefully as much as I can. And so that we can really get a grasp of the situation, because this project is not really a one size fits all. And so I want to make sure that if I bring this project to the whole Philippines, we can make it so that it would fit every province, every ocean, and so that they can grow more fishes and have a better livelihood.
That is such a great answer, Grabe. I have to press this because I really love your answer.
Thank you so much.
Applause, applause, applause. Sabi nga ni Mayor, hello po, Mayor Dikoy! We love
What?
your post si Mayor.
Hi,
Mayor Dikoy,
Mayor. Yes.
ipinagmamalaki ka ng bayan ng Atimonan. I'm
Yes.
sure, grabe.
Yes.
The depth of your knowledge on the matter and the passion that you put with it, that goes with it, is really, really, really comes across. Alam mo yun,
Yes.
we know a genuine advocacy when we see and when we hear one, and
Thank
definitely
you.
yours is a genuine advocacy, especially when you mentioned that it's not a one size fits all advocacy. It has to cater and adjust depending on the situation sa buong
Yes.
Pilipinas, hindi ba?
Mhm.
And that goes to show that that the flexibility and the truthfulness of your advocacy. Yan. before we continue, I'd just like to tell everyone that if you have questions later on, you can actually ask those questions to both our candidates for tonight. At syempre, gusto ko ring batiin, aside from Mayor Tikoy na nandito, ang ating
Yes.
mga nandito rin na ang dami nating nanonood tonight dito sa Facebook, also on Kumu. I'd like to give a shout out to the people who are watching on Kumu right now. We have Ports, Gilbert, yan ako, si Kevin, and Eric, hello. Kumunizens. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask down on the comment sections below. Ayan, grabe, di ba? We are live on 3 channels today. Facebook, YouTube, and Kumu. Syempre, san ka pa? Then, Deo Omania, syempre, ang mga hashtag. Ayan, gusto ko ring i-shout out yung hashtag na K-Familia, KF at Kagandahang Flores.
Yes.
Maraming salamat po, Tito Rogel. Ayan, now, you mentioned about, Amira, you mentioned about fishing and is this actually your main advocacy, or can you talk to us more at length about your advocacy that you're bringing to Miss Philippines Earth?
Yes, actually. So fishing is one of the most connected sectors to the preservation of marine biodiversity. But more than that, it's also the culture of Atimonan. And our festival here is the Tagultol Fishing Festival. So, it all connects. It's such a dynamic advocacy, which is one of the reasons why I've fallen in love with it in the first place. And so, yes, fishing, because the preservation of marine biodiversity, it will grow more fishes. It will make a more abundant marine life in Atimonan, Quezon. And as I've mentioned a while ago, the ocean is actually the largest carbon sink. And so it will regulate climate change if we have a more abundant ecosystem under the waters. And if we have a more abundant ecosystem under the sea, then these fishermen can have more paeng so that they can catch more fish, actually. They can make a greater living. And they actually made their own initiative to make the pabahays of the isda and their own artificial reefs so that they won't actually fish in the no fishing zones or the protected areas.
Wow. Alam mo, this really goes to show that if you meron pala akong lighting dito, that if you care for our fishermen, they will know. If you educate them and then you give them the proper tools to fish, then they will be able to not only fish for themselves but sustainably fish for the future as well. Hindi ba?
Yes,
Kaya ang ganda-ganda ng ginagawa ng Atimonan. Alam mo, matagal na namin naririnig kay Shane yung festival na yan. Gustong-gusto na naming magpunta ng Atimonan para makita yan. Grabe. There you go. Yes! Let's talk about something sige. Go, Amira.
Yes, you can actually come here. Our festival is coming up. So, ayan, abangan nyo na lang yan. It's online. Yes.
Ayan.
It's on August.
Marky, our editor, Marky, is watching on Kumu also. Marky, tumigil ba yung video sa Kumu? Ano nangyayari kay StreamYard? But can you hear us all right, Marky? Yan, please tell us if you can hear us all right. At least that's more important. Ayun, bago natin pabalikin ulit si Roni at si Noy dito sa screen, I just like to ask you something more casual and and fun. Kasi I can see that you're such a bubbly person. It radiates. Alam mo, napaka-formal mo ngayon and very regal ka ngayon. But nakikita ko yung pagiging yung pagiging bubbly sa iyo. Ano ba yung yung favorite pastime or activity mo?
Oh, actually, my favorite pastime is a bit calm. I love reading books, although I haven't been able to read recently. I do love reading.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Ano naman what about something that's active? Ano naman yung active activity?
My active activity, I recently started going to the gym during the start of this competition. And it's really addictive. And so I love working out actually and doing my trainings for the pasarela. So those are my most, active activities right now and I enjoy them a lot.
Yun. Yung training mo ng pasarela mo, you're doing it mostly online, am I correct?
Yes, but now whenever my trainer is available from KF, Tito Jess, to come here in Atimonan, then we can train in person. He's actually here, yes.
Grabe si Sir Jeff. Oh, grabe. Kilala natin yan si Sir Jeff. Mabuhay kayo. Mabuhay ang mga taga-KF sa pag-train in person. Ayan, maraming salamat. We got to know Amira's personality and also her advocacy. At napaka-suwabe, I just want to say suwabe, very suwabe yung
Thank you.
pagsagot ni Amira sa mga tanong natin. Hindi ba? Sabi ni Ashley, go Amira, Atimonan lang ang malakas.
Thank you,
Diba?
Ashley.
Ayan. Noy! I will be calling back Noy sa Milano.
Ayan.
Ayan.
Diyos ko po. And of course, si Ronnie. Ronnie, can you join us again dito sa ating stream? My
Hi.
gosh, guys.
Ayan na si Ronnie.
Hi.
Ayan na.
Before we continue, before we have this like roundtable discussion with the entire group, we are now at 158 viewers.
Yay!
Yes.
Grabe
Diyos ko
kayo,
po.
grabe kayo.
Kakaiba talaga ang
Oo.
ating mga viewers for tonight. That's why I have to like flash all of our fan comments right now. Dahil napakadaming nila. Maraming salamat po for viewing and watching your
Yes.
favorite candidate for tonight.
Thank you.
Actually, Eman, meron lang akong question sa kanilang dalawa, no? Because meron silang common denominator as candidates to Miss Philippines Earth. Mandaluyong and Atimonan, two of our reigning queens are coming from your city or municipality.
That's true.
Atimonan, Shane Tormes is our reigning Miss Philippines Fire, and Gianna Lianes is our reigning Miss Philippines Water. Ang aking question is, may pressure ba na to duplicate or emulate or kahit papano same level of like success or triumph ang makuha ninyo? Let's start off with Ronnie. Anong nararamdaman mo na since you're Miss Mandaluyong, right?
Yeah.
And Mandaluyong was a really great had a really great finish last year. Ano ang nararamdaman mo ngayon
Thank
so
you.
far?
Of course, meron po talagang pressure. Hindi ko naman itatago yun. May pressure talaga sa akin because of course, I really want to represent Mandaluyong really well. But, it will always be a good kind of pressure. It pushes me to do my best. And, Gianna really inspires me to give my all. And, of course, Mandalena pride. Kailangan kong kayanin to for Mandaluyong.
Yes. How about naman si Amira, si Shane, and of course, alam naman natin yung level of commitment and level of presentation, so to say, ng Atimonan na talagang pang-production number, no? Pang-production talaga. Like how is Atimonan preparing? Because I know I am personally chatting with Sir Nestor. Alam ko yung mga ginagawa ng preparations, pero I'd like to hear it from you personally. Ano ang ginagawa ng Atimonan this time around?
Yeah, so I actually mentioned before na I don't feel that much pressure because first and foremost, I'm very close to Queen Shane and she has been giving me a lot of advice and I have the same team as her. So really it's kind of a little bit more casual for me because, it's a team effort and they have been working extra hard. So the preparations that Atimonan has is, they have been making great backdrops for me. Every location we go, it's already set up and all I have to do is actually just walk and the camera work is amazing, the editing is amazing, and I have nothing to say. They just brief me on everything I need to do in terms of the production and it's done. And so I'm just really happy to have my team with me. They're my core and they're one of the reasons why I'm performing as well as I am right now.
Yeah, there you go. Emma, meron ka bang additional questions sa kanila before we move on to our next part, our main part?
Will you handle that for us? Hindi tayong dalawa ba? O yan. Kinabahan ako dun. Actually, kinakabahan ako sa susunod nating segment.
Ako din! Piling ko kasi
mainit tong
magaling.
Oo.
Magaling
Diba?
yung dalawang to.
Oo, magaling siya. Actually, naitanong ko na rin kanina, yung pressure, natanong ko na rin yun kanina kay Amira, yung tungkol doon. Pero, my God, now that we're interviewing them, we can see that they are a league of their own. And they're going to bring a different kind of game to the competition this year. So we are so happy that both of you are here. And look at them, they're gorgeous in their own way. Both gorgeous. Yun lang, actually wala akong maitanong eh. So I guess it's time for us to go to our next part. No, di ba?
I know, yeah.
Ayan na!
Ito na ang ating next part. Ito na ang ating next part, no? Since ito na ating next part, now to all of our fans, now is your time to already rally your support for the two of our candidates tonight. Because now we're moving on to our mini debate ala Miss Earth Crown for Miss Philippines Earth 2021, right, Eman?
That is true. Yes. This is our Queen to Queen Challenge. Ayan. This is what we call our Queen to Queen Challenge. Ano ba tong Queen to Queen Challenge? We are going to give them a topic, and of course, we're going to assign to them a side. Yes, we're going to assign to them a side on the topic. That's the side has been pre-drawn, and so we are going to tell them what side they must take on. Of course, yung opinion nila might be different from the side that they're going to take on, but for the sake of the debate, they have to take on the challenge and defend the side that will be assigned to them. Okay? Today, we're going to talk about a very, very hot topic at the moment. At kayo rin po na nandyan sa Facebook, sa YouTube, at sa Kumu, pwede rin po kayong makisali sa discussion by giving your opinion or by asking them a question. Our topic for tonight is this: to shield or not to shield. Yan ang title natin for tonight. To shield or not to shield. Nowadays, there has been conflicting orders, conflicting ideas, and conflicting opinions on wearing face masks in public and indoors, in indoors at venues here in the Philippines. Now, the question is, should face mask be the minimum protocol, or should face mask always go together with face shield? Yan. Yun ang ating that's what we are going to discuss today. At sabi ko nga, it has been pre-drawn. Again, we have two sides. The first side is face mask lang ang kailangan. We don't need face shields anymore. Then the other side is no, they have to go together all the time. The minimum protocol should be face shield and face masks. Eto na. As we have pre-drawn, the person who will take... Oo, grabe. Ako nga, kinakabahan din ako eh. The person, the queen who will take the side of face shield lang. All we need is face shield is Miss Mandaluyong. Ayan. Roni
I'm
will
sorry,
take- Ayan, face shield.
lang?
Ay, sorry. Face mask
Or
lang.
face
Ayan, there
mask
you go.
lang? Okay.
Sorry. Minimum protocol, face mask lang. Hindi na natin kailangan ng face shield. And of course, obviously, okay, Amira from Atimonan, Miss Atimonan will take the side of no, we should wear both face shield and face mask.
Okay.
I will give you a little bit of time to think about it. All right? I'll give you a minute to think about your sides. But before we go there and before we ask them to give us their take on the issue while they're thinking about what they're going to tell, I would just like again to greet everybody who's here right now. Hello, Paul. Ayan, palabas tayo. And LJ Libunaw 982487 and are here with us. Kung meron po kayong tanong, and of course we have our more than 100 viewers. We have 200 viewers on Facebook right now. Grabe.
Singit lang ako, Eman.
Yes, no.
Napasingit ako. Actually, the Crowns of Quezon. Hi, Crowns of Quezon.
Uy, Crowns of
Hi,
Quezon
Crowns
is
of
here with us
Quezon.
tonight. Vivas
Babalik
are
na ako sa
watching
likod.
with you. Ay, grabe. From sabi, hello palabas tayo. Christian Prado also, hello. And of course, we have a lot. Oh my God. There you go. Now, it's time to begin our debate, okay? It's time to begin our debate. First of all, I will be asking each of you for your sides, okay? I will give you 1 minute, 1 minute to air your side on the matter, all right? So I'm going to give you a timer of 1 minute, okay? To air your side. And as soon as you're ready, Ronnie, you will begin. It's your time.
Well, I believe that wearing a face mask is enough to protect us. I mean, should be kept to a minimum because even before the pandemic started, when one has cough or cold, the first protocol is always to wear a mask. because the mask is not only there to protect you, but to also protect the people around you. And we know that the entry way for the coronavirus is the mouth and the nose nasally, nose nasally. And so I believe that wearing a mask, even without a shield, is enough to protect you and the people around you whenever you go out. And even when you stay at home, just to be safe.
Yes,
Something
all
like
right.
that.
15 seconds to go. But yes, you have explained your side very well. So I'd also like Amira to listen to that because later on, after you give your own take, you have to comment on each other's opinion. Okay?
Okay.
Now, let's go to Amira. Amira, you're taking the side of nope, we need both the face shield and the face mask. Now, I'm going to give you your 1 minute, and it starts right now.
Okay. We have to wear both face masks and face shield because researchers and health biomedical scientists actually says that face shields aren't entirely ineffective. They are actually effective in shielding our faces from the spits and from the saliva that comes out of sneezing and coughing, which is how the COVID-19 virus is usually spread. And even aside from that, it can also reduce our chances of touching our face, just randomly, because this can be a mannerism for some people. And we do know that we have to put alcohol first or wash our hands before touching our face. And so wearing face shields on its own definitely is ineffective, but with a face mask, I think it can protect us really well. And it can also be reused. And so it's not that harmful for the environment as long as we clean it properly.
There you go. Oh, also 15 seconds to go for but you
Tipid
have
na tipid kami.
tipid na tipid kayo. No, because short but sweet. You have answered the questions properly. You have answered them with the proper explanation, diba? Short, precise, concise, but very effective. Yan naman ang talagang queenly way of answering, hindi ba? Now, let's go to your take on each other's opinion. Let's start with Ronnie. Ronnie, you heard what Amira said, that she's insisting that both face mask and face shield are necessary because the face shield can protect us from the spit. What is your take on that? Given that you are siding on face masks only.
Yes. Well, considering that everybody is wearing a face mask, then, kumbaga, wait, I don't want to sound too, not being rude or anything, but,
Yes.
when everybody's wearing a face mask and that already protects us from each and every one, anong spit or cough is the shield trying to protect us from? Because if everybody's already wearing a mask, then napoprotektahan na niya tayo. And whenever we remove our face shield, before we put it on, do we actually clean it? Because sometimes that can actually attract more bacteria or germs. So ending, baka mamaya iba pa yung makuha natin from, wearing our shields on and off. So I think I still stick to face mask is enough to protect us from the
There you
corona.
go. You heard that, Amira. Sabi niya, if we're all wearing face mask, what's the need for face shield? Hindi ba? And the face shield can also be a way for us to get other bacteria, if not the virus, if not coronavirus. What is your take on that?
I do agree to some extent, but there is still some parts of our face that are exposed. So we have the eyes, and the coronavirus can get into the eyes. And so, as I've said a while ago, we can avoid touching it. And it's really a matter of self-discipline with regards to cleaning our face shields, because all in the end, I don't think there's a problem with increasing our protection for ourselves, aside from washing our hands and wearing a mask. Then we can wear a face shield on top of that as well to protect us from other bigger particles.
I see. There you go. Ngayon, ang tatanungin ko sa inyong dalawa, what can you say? Yes. Ronnie, what can you say? Final statement for those who insist that it should be face mask and face shield. Hindi, ano ang sasabihin mo sa kanila as to close your part of the debate? Go.
Well, at the end of the day, it is our own decision on what we want to do. But what is important is that we really keep ourselves safe and protected. Not only ourselves actually, but also other people. And so whenever we go out or we stay at home, let us always wear our face mask because other people tend to wear shields and they forget their mask, which is also not very protective. So my last statement would be always wear your face mask wherever you go, even when you're at home. Wag tayo magpakakampante because we never know what's gonna happen. So please stay safe all.
That was a valid point. May nagfi-facial nga, wala namang face mask. Shout out to the BP Liwag. Hello, Polly. And now, Amira, what would you say to the people who are insisting face mask lang ang kailangan? Let's hear your closing statement.
I understand your call for free bodily autonomy and but in these times we have to follow the rules, we have to follow the protocols from the IATF because these are experts who know what they're doing and know what they're saying. And aside from that, we do have to have self-discipline, just like what Ms. Mandaluyong said. We have to wear a mask along with the face shield because the face shield will not do much on its own, but with the mask then we have our complete protective gear and we can protect not ourselves but also others from the virus. Yay! That was challenging.
Yay!
Ako challenge kasi ayoko mag-sound na masungit. Alam mo yun?
Yeah.
No, wala. Actually, wala. You just sounded very, convincing and confident. Diba? You, Ron, and both of you actually. So let's give them a round of applause for that. Grabe, nag-enjoy na kayo doon.
Nice
And
one,
that was
Mira.
that was our Queen to Queen challenge. Ang galing niyo.
Ayan. Eman, Ronnie and Amira survived. Both survived the Army of
Yes!
Bakit kayo may pag-init ako?
Diyos ko po.
Yeah.
Pero, alam mo, ramdam ko yung kaba nila kanina before kayo nag-start. Pero congratulations, ladies. At alam mo ba, Emma?
Yes.
Our upcoming guests for Miss Earth Crown from Miss Philippines Earth are also watching right now to get an idea. Sabi
Ayan
ko
na.
mga kay mamaya kung anong mangyayari.
Yun ang advantage ng mga medyo later pang magigest. May
Oh.
idea na sila. Diba, no? Tapos yun pala, Noy, Amira and Ronnie, babaguhin pala namin yung format next episode. So,
Surprise.
Kayo
Hindi
pala
na
hindi
debate.
ganito sa inyo.
correct. Don't be complacent. Ganon.
Yes, and speaking of our viewers, Emma, and our fans, grabe, ito na, 250 viewers. We reached
Yes.
250
Wow.
viewers.
Only
Maraming
Facebook
salamat.
pa lang yan,
Thank
ha?
you.
Facebook pa lang yan. But we also have a lot of viewers on YouTube and on Kumu right now. Thank you so much sa lahat ng mga dumadaan on Kumu.
Yeah.
Si
I mean,
Palabas
biruin mo,
tayo.
diba? Yeah, biruin
Yes.
mo, Emma, we started late. We started late ng medyo like 30 minutes late.
Sorry
Pero we're still here. 237
Yeah.
strong. Maraming salamat.
Yes.
And now to our fans, it's now the time for you to ask your questions for our two delegates from Miss Philippines.
Yes,
Actually,
yes.
may isang question dito, Emma. I'd like to ask this now. I forgot kung sino ito. Pero dahil ang dami nag-flood na talagang comments natin. Pero I'd like to ask this question. Someone asked, anong favorite eco activity ninyo so far? Since you've
nice
have
question.
a lot of eco activities. Let's start off with Ronnie. Anong favorite eco activity mo so far?
As in dun sa mga na videos na na-post ko na.
Yes, videos or photos. Yeah.
Yes. My favorite would be walking outside with my family and really spending time with them, appreciating nature
Mhm.
and just bonding together. Yeah, I'm all about quality time with family and of course with the environment.
Oh, there you go. Si Amira naman, ano yung favorite eco activity mo so far?
So my favorite eco activity, I'm gonna generalize this because there are many under it, but visiting the different barangays here. So in Barangay Ponon, I visited the learning centers, and it's so nice to see that in each purok there's a learning center, a safe space for children who don't have access to books to just read books outside of their house, and even outside those learning centers there's a community garden where they can learn to plant their own food. So that's one of my most favorite eco activities.
There you go. Thank you. Again, to all of our fans, if you have
Galing.
questions, actually,
Yes,
si
opo.
Ate Marky Gatchalian, ang ating EIC, I think had a question a while ago, right, Emma? Na-catch mo ba yung question niya na yun?
Saan? Sa Facebook? Sorry, meron
Sa
din siyang question sa
Facebook.
Kumu kanina.
Oh, sige,
No,
go.
so
Yeah.
yan. Meron. Hindi, ang tanong niya sa Kumu kanina, bakit hindi gumagalaw yung video? Yun ang tanong niya kanina sa
Yun na ba yun, Emma?
Nabitin yung video kanina sa Kumu. So yun na. Marky Gatchalian is our editor-in-chief. Actually, our show is entitled MEN, Men of MEC kasi Mark, Eman, and Nonoy. And Noy. Pero, I think from today, Mark won't be able to join us anymore. But,
At malalaman nyo kung bakit.
Malalaman nyo kung bakit. Hindi po ito masamang dahilan. Oo. Malalaman po ninyo.
At malalaman ng ating delegates.
Malalaman ng ating delegates kung bakit hindi nakasama si Mark sa hosting panel every episode. Yan. Mahalagang malaman nyo in the future. Okay?
Very important ang role niya. Yan.
Abangan namin
question.
Abangan natin yan.
Question. Miriam
Yes.
ko. Hi, Miriam ko. I think I can post this question. Science proved that using the right mask prevents the spread of the virus. So face shield is not really needed anymore. O, diba? Nag-comment si Miriam.
I agree.
Hello, Sam.
Thank you po for the information.
Ayan.
Hello, Osna Pits Pia.
Sige,
Yan.
let me just look for questions. Emma, we maybe have other questions while I am looking for the questions kasi ang dami talaga nag-flood ng ating comment section.
Oo, grabe.
No?
Sige lang. Actually, gusto ko din lang i-shout out yung mga nasa YouTube. At saka kung meron tayong 200 plus na viewers sa Facebook, sa Kumu naman, our show has reached 16,600 likes on Kumu. Yes! Grabe kayo! Grabe kayo! Ang grabing pusuan ng mga Kumunizens ang Kung likes ang sa Facebook, sa Kumu naman, mga Kumunizens, ang tawag natin sa kanila. Grabe silang pagpuso ng mga shows na gusto nila. So thank you very much. Abangan niyo po ulit, Kumu, ang susunod din pa nating mga candidates na sasalang sa ating MEN of MEC. Yan. Meron tayong tanong. Ayan.
Okay,
yan.
go sige.
How are you going to ayan, yung mga hashtag ba to? Yan. How are you going to fulfill your role as Miss Philippines Earth if ever you win despite the ongoing pandemic? Ayan. Sige, kanino natin uumpisahan?
Sige, siguro si Miss Mandaluyong, Roni.
Yes, Roni.
How will you answer that question?
Well, sabi ko nga, when I win Miss Philippines Earth, of course, I would take the opportunity to really educate people and encourage them to protect and preserve the environment. You know, we have social media. Sobrang dali na i-reach ang mga tao, and you know, we can also go out but make sure na we follow the safety protocols, and of course I need to walk the talk. So I have to show them that I am doing what I am saying and be an inspiration, because I believe that when people see that you're doing and you're staying true to what you're promoting, they will also follow. So yun, I'm just being genuine as possible and really promote my advocacy and of course the organization's advocacy to promote and protect the environment.
And that is the way to go, di ba? Be yourself while fulfilling your duties, di ba? Very good, yan. Talaga naman. Now, let's go to Amira. Then, how are you going to fulfill your role if ever you become Miss Philippines Earth during this time of the pandemic?
Yeah, so it is quite challenging because, you know, it's hard to put others at risk. Even if, let's say, I get vaccinated, what if the people I'm going to aren't vaccinated? And so one of the ways I can still fulfill my role is to empower people and, you know, to go to government units that I know are safe. So with regards to empowering people, I know that in these times, things can seem hopeless, most especially in environmental causes, because there isn't much time, there isn't much opportunities to mobilize and to get together and really to create big projects. And with empowerment of the people, if I can influence others to not side with my beliefs, but to create their own beliefs, to help them think critically, to be objective on their own, and to create their own morally sound stand, then I think in that way, they can spark change for themselves and they can actually, you know, influence others to do so, and they can ask corporations to take accountability. And that is the most important thing in these times.
There you go. Yes. Being a voice and asking those who have to be asked. for
Yeah.
accountability. Yan naman ang stand ni Amira. Very good. Yes, I'd like to let's give a round of applause to both our ladies. Ayan. Shout out daw from Kumu. Ayan, umabot din sa Kumu ang mga supporters ng ating mga queens. Osna Pitspia. Hindi ko, tama ba ang ang pagkaka-pronounce ko ng iyong username? Yan, Go Amira, sabi niya from Kumu.
Yeah, thank
Ayan,
you.
hello, Onats Pia. Ayan, thank you very much. Noy, nasa na si Nonoy? There you go. So, maraming salamat po. Meron pa po ba kayo mga relax? Yan, relax ng si Amira Almamari. Yan, Nino Joseph A. Balaris. Thank you so much for all your comments and questions and suggestions. Now we're opening up the floor for more questions from you. Our Facebook, ano ba tawag natin sa mga taga-Facebook? Our Facebookers. Facebookers, our communicants, and our YouTubers. Ayan. Sabi ni Ann Mendoza. Ang taray nung Mendoza. Ann Mendoza. Is there a particular story or person you've met that has affected your... this is a great question. Is there a particular story or a person that you've met that affected your advocacy? Yan ang tanong ni Ann Mendoza. Kanina nauna si Roni, so naunahin naman natin si Amira.
Yeah. So I'm very excited to answer this question, and I hope it doesn't get me too emotional. But starting this advocacy, I have already loved it, and I love the ocean, although I had a fear of it. But during my time when I went to a barangay here in Atimonan, and I spoke to the children of the fishermen, I actually met a 9-year-old child who was making paing for the fishermen. And at a young age, it really impacted me. Like, at that young age, they're already doing that. And I asked another girl, her name is Rian, and she's 13 years old. And I asked her, what is your dream? And it took her such a long time to answer me. And her voice really shook when she answered me that she wants to be a doctor. And it struck me, and it took everything in me not to cry, because I also want to be a doctor. But with the tone that she took when she told me she wanted to be a doctor, and it has been her dream for such a long time, it already felt like she gave up. And that really hurt me so much. And I don't have sympathy for her because she doesn't need it, but I do have empathy. And during that interview, I said that to myself, that I'm doing this advocacy for them. Their stories, I'm going to bring them with me, and all of the lessons I've learned from those children that I was able to talk to and play with, I'm going to bring that to Miss Philippines Earth, and they're going to be the driving force as to why I'm doing what I'm doing.
That was amazing. There you go, diba? What a very heartfelt story, very touching story. But I love what you said about I don't have sympathy because she doesn't need it, because she's working hard, diba? Parang hindi mo naman dapat ka, but I have empathy for her. Yeah, that's a very powerful thing to do. Now, let's answer this question. How about you, Ronnie? Yes. Ano yung situation or person that influenced your advocacy?
Well, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the film Game Changer on Netflix. Because that film actually influenced me to become a vegetarian. So that was 2 years ago. And when I watched it, it all started kasi na yung focus ko is my health. And so after watching that, naging conscious ako sa health, and I really wanted to, improve my body, my health. And after watching that, I continued watching other films, and then I started reading articles, I started studying more on plant-based diet. And then doon ko din nakita kung gaano kalaki yung naging impact niya sa environment. So doon ako na-move. Biglang nag-shift yung focus ko from my body to biglang sa health and longevity ng environment. So na-alarm ako na shock, akala ko kahit kumain ako isang steak, okay lang. Pero doon ko na-realize sobrang laki ng effect niya na bago pa siya naging, bago pa siya ilagay sa plato mo, baka pa lang siya, ang dami nang nangyari, ang dami nang naapektuhan, global warming, pollution, climate change. Doon talaga umikot yung paningin ko sa pagkain ng meat and the environment. So that really pushed me to encourage everyone. I don't want to force it on people, because I believe that in order for you to really do it, you have to genuinely want it. You need to have it.
Correct.
Para masasabanin mo. And so I am not imposing anything. I'm just encouraging people and educating them, because I believe na once you are fully informed, dun ka lang talaga, dun mo lang masasabi na, ay, kailangan tong gawin. Gusto ko tong gawin. And dun ako magiging successful sa advocacy ko. Yun po.
Galing.
Wow! You
Grabe.
know what, if I know someone who will definitely support 100%. Ayan na nga. Ito,
Ang
si
ating
Marky
EIC.
Gatchalian. Because Marky is also a vegetarian, and he watched that show on Netflix before.
Yes.
And he told me about it. So may kakampi ka na agad from MEC sa iyong
pero Eman,
advocacy.
before we ask this question from Mark Lino, I just like to comment lang na very relevant and very meaningful yung mga advocacy sa mga candidates natin for tonight. Kasi coming from personal experience talaga, mga pinaghuhugutan nila sa kanilang advocacy, parang hindi lang hinugot from the air or whatever. Ito talaga real personal experience.
Right?
Ang pinaghuhugutan, kaya napakaganda ng ating discussions for tonight.
Malalaman mo no?
Oo, correct. Ito naman si Marky Gatchalian ng ating EIC would like to know. Ayan, kailangan nito sagutin ng maayos, guys. That EIC namin ito. Si Mark Lee. Hi, Mark Lee.
Clue ba yon sa mangyayari?
Clue ito, ladies.
Kailangan nilang sagutin ng maayos. Okay.
Clue na ito. Mark Lee would like to ask, how do you create sustainable livelihood and sustainable environmental protection? Ayan, he'd like to ask that question. Maybe you can start off with this time si Amira. Yes, Amira. I'd like to answer this question from Mark Lee.
All right. So I'm very glad that this question is asked because I think sustainable environment protection and sustainable livelihood is actually already taking place here. And the first step we have to take in order to make everything sustainable is to actually talk to these people, because I was surprised when I talked to these fishermen, and they're actually the ones who are taking the initiative to make these pabahay of the fishes, to make these artificial coral reefs. And they're actually using sustainable materials, natural materials that are strong and can withstand any changes in the ocean without actually affecting the fishes there. And so, as I've said, I'm just going to reiterate that firstly, talking to the people who are involved in this livelihood, because they probably know already more than what we know. And the thing we can do after that is to take their projects and initiative into a bigger scale, because they can actually take this to a bigger platform if only they had it. And I'm going to take that role, and I'm going to take everything they have been doing to a bigger scale, because they know more than me, and I'm going to learn from them.
Goodness. Gusto naman. Ayoko na umitan na. Charot.
Yun, diba?
Na kami. Sige naman, Ronnie,
take it to a bigger platform. How about you, Ronnie?
Ronnie ko naman, yes.
Well, growing up, I have always believed that whenever we want to create change in this world, we should always start from within us. So before we actually help other people, we need to help ourselves. Kailangan sa atin manggaling na gusto natin ng pagbabago, and we need to be disciplined enough to know the right things to do. So sa atin, sa bahay natin, sa household natin, we should already practice being sustainable, living sustainably, because if everyone starts doing it, magiging malaki epekto niya, and genuine humanity towards one another yung kailangan natin to really help one another. It's not enough that one person will lead and help one another. It should be all of us leading and helping in order to create a sustainable livelihood and environmental protection for everyone, for nature.
Ano ba naman?
Grabe.
And
diba?
broadcast na, charot.
Oo. From one answers from taking small to big, and then one and all. Diba? Parang ganun yung
May sinabi rin si Ronnie kanina, genuine humanity. Is that what you mentioned? Napakagandang genuine humanity. Very beautiful statement there. Oh.
Diba?
Kamusta naman, Mark Lee?
Ang daming
quotable
quotes. Oo, yes. There you go. Thank you very much. Ayan. Noy, grabe. Yung lumipas lang yung a little more than an hour natin, ha?
Yes.
Interviewing our candidates for tonight.
Correct. And I think we would want to stretch this a little bit more, pero that's the only time that we have for tonight, no? Medyo mahaba na ang gabi, pero guys, Ladies, Ronnie and Amira, we're still at 170 viewers.
Grabe.
Napakadami
Ayaw
pa
nila
rin
kayong-
nanonood.
Ayaw nila kayong they
Ayaw
don't
nila
wanna
kayong
let you go.
bitawan.
I think yung next segment natin, talent portion na. Since they're still here, we might as well give it. Ay, ready. Parang
Ready?
prepared si Ronnie. Oo, grabe.
Diyos ko naman.
Ay, pero gusto ko lang tanungin, ano ba yung what are your talents na pwedeng maipapakita na feeling natin makikita natin soon sa inyong
Parang
Miss Earth
preview
journey?
lang, ganun, or idea. Meron ba kayo idea?
Ano ba yung mga talents nyo in general?
In general, yes.
Amira.
Si Amira, yes. Amira, ano ba yung talent mo?
Oo, ikaw, Amira, yes.
I already joined the talent portion, so it's done na. I was in the creative category, yes.
Okay.
And so I did
Yes.
my own
Amira, let's go your
interpretation.
performance.
Yes, thank you so
Oo.
much. I watched you kanina.
Kanya rin.
So I did my own interpretation of the 4 elements. So, lumambitin ako dun sa ring, may bumubuga ng apoy dun sa gilid ko and all that stuff. So that was my talent for this competition.
Grabe, no?
Mm.
How about you, Ronnie?
Ako naman sa dancing category ako sumali. I did contemporary dance while sharing the story of Aluncina. Hindi pala ko familiar kayo sa kanya. Pero isa siyang bathala who created the universe and promoting women empowerment. So yun, tamang sayo ako kanina.
Wow.
Ang galing. Oo, yan. Napanood natin yan. So, yes. Congratulations sa
Congratulations.
inyong
And
talent.
Eman, I'd like to
Showcase.
ask, since you already mentioned the talent portion, ano ba yung mga kailangan abangan? Kasi, we are 1 week away from ending June. And July is going to be like the parang pinaka, activities talaga ninyo na judge and preliminary.
Oo.
So, ano yung mga kailangan abangan ng mga fans ninyo na nanonood ngayon, na marami sila? Ano yung mga kailangan na in store na kailangan nilang abangan for Miss Philippines Earth 2021? Let's start off with Ronnie. What is going to be in store for our fans?
Well, sobrang dami pa activities. We still have the long gown competition,
Wow.
beauty of face, the swimsuit competition, and of course, our intelligence competition. So, good Q&A. Yun ang labanan talaga. So, abangan niyo yan.
Super.
Ayan.
Ay, Q&A daw. Parang may alam akong
Ah!
participate
Ano ba
siya sa
yan?
Q&A.
Parang
So-
yun na.
Yeah.
So, preliminary gown, preliminary competitions. Aside from those, ano pa yung kailangan abangan? Amira, ano pa yung mga nalalaman mo
aside
na pwede
from
mo i-share?
We have the cultural competition. So I
Yes.
believe that's on July 24, if I'm not
24,
mistaken.
yes.
Yes. And the
Mm.
fitness form and poise prejudging as well.
Yan. Alam mo, Emma, yung cultural wear competition, isa yun sa mga inaabangan talaga ng Miss Philippines Earth fans. Dahil grabihan ang mga costumes.
Kasi hindi lang costumes. Grabe, alam mo nung naging virtual edition,
Production.
'di ba? Doon talaga inaabangan bawat competition. Kasi lahat
Oh my
yun
God.
televised, broadcasted. Grabe yung national yung cultural attire competition. Hindi lang kasi yung attire ang meron sila.
Production.
Full production. Grabe
My
talaga
God.
yung Philippines Earth candidates natin. Super. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Kailangan abangan natin mga fans yan. Now, I think it's the perfect time, Eman, to hear the final words of our candidates for tonight. Maraming salamat. 157 pa rin tayo hanggang ngayon.
Grabe.
Ano ang inyong
Oo.
message sa inyong mga fans? Hundreds and thousands of fans who watch you tonight. Let's start off with Ronnie Meneses of Mandaluyong. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Siyempre, unang-una sa lahat, I would like to thank everyone who has been there since day one. Of course, my family, my friends, my relatives, and even those who I don't know but, continues to support me. Thank you so much for believing in me. And sa inyo ko talaga kinukuha yung lakas ko. And I promise you that, we will get the crown. So just keep on supporting me. And thank you guys. Stay safe. And I love you all.
Ayan. Maraming salamat. Now, si Amira. What is now your message to all of your fans for tonight?
Yes, of course, first of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who has supported me, even though we're here at 10:40 p.m., you are still here supporting me. So thank you so much. I'm getting all of my strength from all of you, and rest assured, I'm doing every single thing I can and collecting every story I can so that I can strengthen myself and my advocacy, and so eventually we can also win the crown.
Wow.
Yan na. Galing naman. Ayan. So once again, to all of our fans, maraming salamat for watching our show for tonight. It has been a great conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, another virtual applause to Miss Mandaluyong City, Roni Meneses, and Miss Atimonan Quezon, Almeera and Roni.
Thank you.
Ayan. Emma, any final words before we end our live stream for tonight?
Yan, abangan nyo po ang susunod nating episode 3 with 2 more. Grabe, of our lovely, powerful, empowered, and of course, environmentally passionate ladies from Miss Philippines Earth. And don't forget to follow Miss Earth Crown on Facebook, YouTube, and even on Twitter.
Yes. And of course, speaking of our next episodes, titingin ako dito dahil di ko matanggal yung ating banner. We have actually not one, but 2 episodes coming up on Saturday and Sunday. Magkasunod po yan for this weekend. We have our 4 lovely candidates for Miss Philippines Earth on Miss Earth Crown. This has been your hosts, Noy Sabelano and Emmanuel Feliciano, and our lovely candidates, Roni Meneses and Amira Almamari, for episode 2 of Miss Earth Crown, special coverage of Miss Philippines Earth, saying maraming salamat at magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Have a great evening, everyone.
Good night.
Everyone.
Good night. Ano po?
Ayaw mag-X?
Malapit na. Kaway-kaway lang. Ay, Sir Jess and Sir Nestler, maraming salamat.
Yes.
Thank you, Kumu. Thank you, Bradley. Hello, Bradley. Thank you for watching.
Yan. Can you try to end, Ems? Hindi siya mag-end. Ayan. Trying to end. Bye, guys. Maraming salamat.
Good night.
Sige. Our
Bye.
listeners
Ah.
can also leave kung hindi na kayang mag-wave. Ayan. Grabe talaga yung mga internet, mga internet stuff.
Oo, naka-live pa rin tayo. Sige.
Ayan, sige, trying to end the broadcast.
Okay.
Kasi nga,
Guys,
they don't wanna let us go down.
Oo,